Hello everybody, welcome back, and today we are talking about fantasy football. And we are going to be giving some top 10 rankings on running backs, wide receivers, quarterbacks, top 5 for tight ends, kickers, and defenses. And we're going to begin. Now, I did join an ESPN draft lobby thing. ESPN and I aren't going to agree on everything, of course. I don't think Saquon should be that high. I just don't trust rookies as much. But we're starting off in number one is got to be, for the running back position, Todd Gurley. And Gurley, he showed last year, Sean McVay's offense, he's good to go. He's going to produce a lot of points for fantasy football and just for them in general. He might be a candidate for MVP this year. I can definitely see him becoming an MVP candidate. I can definitely see him being the face of the franchise. And with Donald possibly on his way out with no contract extension, I think the Rams really are focused with Gurley, and Gurley should just be the head guy, I would say, for that team overall. Number two on the list for running backs, I would say Le'Veon Bell. And the reason why I don't have Bell at one, for one, it depends if you're on PPR league. I don't blame you if you do PPR, all that. I prefer to do PPR. But right now, if it's a regular league, I would just stick with Bell at 2. And my biggest concern with Bell is he's taken off training camp. Taking off training camp is not going to leave you in the best football shape. He'll be in shape, but he won't be in football shape. It's a completely different genre. And we will definitely see some issues in the first couple weeks. I would say he's going to get off to a rocky start just like he did last year. I wouldn't take him number one. I would take Todd Gurley. And number 3, I got David Johnson. And this is kind of shoo-in. The top 3, everyone knows who the top 3 kind of are. You know who they are. You know what players they are. You just don't know what order they are. I like David Johnson at 3. Coming off a wrist injury. Not that severe of an injury. I'd be a lot more concerned if it was an ACL injury. But wrist, not that big of a deal. He's got good hands out of the backfield. I would say he'll get you a lot of points. Probably will be one of the top 3-point getters, like running backs usually are. And here's where we completely go down here. My number 4 player for fantasy football, for running backs, is Kareem Hunt. And you're probably going to say, oh, Kareem Hunt. Okay, let's continue. Kareem Hunt, he just had a rookie year. He's not that great. Ezekiel Elliott's better. I like Kareem Hunt more. Now, see, I will take Todd Gurley when I get the second, but Kareem Hunt, he's got pretty much a rookie QB, and his best friend will be Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's got that ability, that explosion to get to the secondary. He's got the hands out of the backfield. Kareem Hunt is the 4th best fantasy football player, I think, overall this year, because I think running backs are usually just the top 10 in general. Just do that. Number 5. Now, 5, I was considering on actually putting Dalvin Cook here, but I didn't. I put Ezekiel Elliott here. And the reason why I'm going to put Zeke here, he's a nasty, vicious, downhill runner. And my concern is his O-line. It's getting hurt. They're dropping like flies right now. If you haven't seen what Travis Frederick's dealing with, look that up. It's not looking too great. But their O-line's weekend, it's injured, it's battered, it's bruised, it's not looking too good. That's why I don't have him in the top 4. I do think he'll have a good year. I do think he'll have a productive year, but I don't think he'll have as good of a year he did his rookie year. Up next, now again, Dalvin Cook will be in the top 10, but another rookie from last year beat him out, and that's Leonard Fournette. Pretty much the exact same reasons, except he's got a healthy O-line. That's the reason why I would maybe even consider taking Fournette over Ezekiel Elliott this year. Jaguars' O-line looks healthy right now, and they did invest into it. And Fournette, he's probably that main center of the offense. Blake Bortles is a lot worse than Dak Prescott. And that's going to probably mean you're going to run it with Fournette a lot more. You're going to run it in goal line formation. You're going to run it on 3rd and 5 with him. He's able to get those chunk yards, and he does not have bad hands out of the backfield. Very underrated in my eyes with his hands out of the backfield. I feel like he's extremely good, and he's got some confidence. When he gets going, though, when he builds up his steam, I don't see a secondary guy take him out. I personally just don't. And 6, finally, Dalvin Cook. And you're probably wondering why I have Dalvin Cook over Alvin Kamara. Because Dalvin Cook was going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year last year if he didn't get hurt. If you watched him, he was on fire. He was going through everybody. And then he got a knee injury. I think Dalvin Cook should have a very good year. I think he is the next Adrian Peterson in Minnesota. I'm not saying he'll be as good as AP, but I think he'll be that elite runner in Minnesota that they had with Adrian Peterson for all those years. Up next is Alvin Kamara. Finally, Alvin Kamara is on the list. But the issue I have with Kamara is the first couple weeks, we haven't seen him as a solo back. We've only seen him as a dual back with Mike Ingram. With Ingram being suspended, I don't know how Kamara is going to deal with all that pressure, that added-on pressure of getting those extra first down, being that downhill runner. I just don't like it as much. Next on the list at number 8 is Devonta Freeman. Now, Devonta Freeman, he's got good hands. He's a downhill runner. He's got a good quarterback. He's got a good wide receiver. He's got a good O-line. He's got all the tools to put together a really nice fantasy football season. Really nice season in general, I feel like. He is probably an underrated back, you could say. You could argue with how his ability is. Sometimes he could be a top 5. When he gets going, he could be a top 5 running back. I don't see the other guy like here, so we're just going to go to the running back positions. Number 9, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard gets a lot of disrespect. A lot. And without question, not granted. The dude was second in the league his rookie year for rushing yards. Last year, he did have a bit of a downer year when Tariq Cohen was in, but he did not have a bad year. He was producing. He's a goal line back, and you're going to see him used the exact same way Kareem Hunt was used last year. And maybe not the exact same way, but he's going to get those touchdowns. He's going to get all those extra yards. He's got good hands out of the backfield. He is a good player. He is a top 10 running back in the league in general, and I think he's a top 10 fantasy running back. And at number 10, and this was hard, it was either going to be Melvin Gordon or LaShawn McCoy. I'm going to give the edge to Melvin Gordon. Not because I think Gordon is better than McCoy, but because I think Gordon's a lot younger than McCoy, which we know for a fact. McCoy's getting up there in age, which can mean for a possible knee injury. It happens to everyone. Melvin Gordon has produced better each year in the league, and he's got a running back-centered head coach. Anthony Lynn likes to run the ball. He's got Phillip Rivers to help get the defense to back off. I overall think he's got a good shot at having a really good year, possibly getting the top 5 for running backs, but I do like Melvin Gordon a lot this year. As we're going to go to wide receivers now, and the number 1 guy is already taken. That's Antonio Brown. He always gets receptions. He always gets touchdowns. He always gets yards. It's without a question how good he is, and he produces each and every year. He's the number 1 wide receiver on the board. Number 2, this might surprise people, but I'm not taking Julio Jones. I'm taking DeAndre Hopkins. The reason why I'm taking Hopkins, plain simple. He has produced with average at best quarterbacks, probably a lot below average quarterbacks. And he always produces. He's always catching the ball. He's always making the plays. He is, without a doubt, one of the best receivers in the league. I would argue he's the best. I would straight up argue he's the best. He's got the ability. He finally has the quarterback that can get him the ball. He finally has that QB in Deshaun Watson. He has not had that. He's had Brian Hoyer, Brock Osweiler, and Brandon Weeden, and yet he's an elite wide receiver. Those quarterbacks should not get him to elite wide receiver status, but they do. Anyways, number 3 on the board is Julio Jones, and the reason why Julio's number 3, he did miss some in training camp, but that's not my biggest concern. My concern with him is Falcons draft another wide receiver. It's going to take some of Julio's targets, plain simple. Julio's going to lose targets. It's not that hard to figure out. You got a young receiver, you're going to want him in the offense. You already have Mohamed Sanu. Julio's going to lose targets. There's no doubt about it. In number 4, he was taken off the board already, and you're probably going to be surprised. I like Michael Thomas this year. Michael Thomas is a young receiver, and he's improved every year. He's got Drew Brees, one of the best QBs in the league, to throw him the ball. I think Michael Thomas is set up for a great year. As I am on the clock right now, we're going to finish talking about Michael Thomas, then make the quick selection. Michael Thomas, he's just got the innate ability to get the ball and jump ball situations and zone coverage. He's a nice route runner. He's got all the tools to have a big year for NFL-wise and fantasy football-wise. And number 5 is Odell. I don't think there's any question there. He is in the top 5. The only concern you could say is he's coming off a big injury. That's the only concern you can have for him, and that's why he's there. And number 6, I'm taking number 6 right now. Go click. Davante Adams. Now, Davante Adams should have another good year. I mean, he's got Aaron Rodgers for the full year. He's the number 1 receiver now in Green Bay. He's taken over Jordy Nelson's spot, how I look at it. And when Jordy Nelson was in his prime, he would get you a lot of fantasy points. I think Davante Adams is a better Jordy Nelson. So I'm willing to bet that Adams has a phenomenal year in the receiving game and is a top 10 receiver. Overall in the league, I could see that this year. The next guy on the list who I will be taking if he's available is Tyreek Hill. And the reason why I have Hill over the next guy, he's got that explosion factor. He can get down the field and get a touchdown. And the reason why I'd maybe consider taking Tyreek Hill off the board, I don't trust his quarterback. We will find out in due time, but I don't trust his quarterback. His quarterback's only good for the deep ball, which Tyreek Hill can do. Tyreek Hill, though, he's fast, he's versatile, he's explosive, makes for a very good player in my mind. And he's clocking at the 7th best wide receiver talent for fantasy football. Number 8, taken off the board, AJ Green. AJ Green's just unstoppable. You can put double coverage on him, he's catching the ball. You can put zone coverage on him, he's catching the ball. He's going to catch the ball as long as it's thrown in his vicinity. He's a great player, and he always produces. He's probably been the Bengals' best player since they've drafted him. I'm sure Bengals fans would agree with that. Number 9 is Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen, he kind of is the forgotten guy. He always produces, but everyone kind of forgets about him. Unless you're a Chargers fan, you just forget he exists sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, oh, he's actually healthy this year? Good for him. And I do think if Keenan Allen stayed healthy throughout his career, I think he'd be a lot higher on a lot of people's boards just as a player in the league overall. And to round off the top 10, Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I don't know how to feel about him. He will have these really good games and he'll disappear. And that could be to his quarterback play. Jameis Winston has some really good games, but he also has some really bad games. Mike Evans is going to have a backup quarterback to start off the year. We all know that. We all know Jameis is suspended. That's what his value might drop off at. And Mike Evans might be a great value target if you can get him at the right point. It just depends. And now we're going to quarterbacks. In quarterbacks, I know there have been 2 taken off the board. Been paying attention to it slowly. But number 1, if he stays healthy, is Carson Wentz. And you're probably wondering why it's not Aaron Rodgers, why it's not Tom Brady. The reason why I have Carson Wentz over them, Carson Wentz has proven he will run over people to get to the end zone. He's got a rushing ability. I would argue he is the next thing. Just kind of up there, but just, I'm not saying he's Tom Brady level. When he proves that is by winning 3 straight Super Bowls. The Eagles win 3 straight Super Bowls? Yeah, I'll put him up in the Tom Brady category. But he's not there yet. But I think as a point getter, I think as a passer, as a rusher, I think he'll get you a lot of points. And that's why he's the number 1 quarterback in fantasy football this year, in my eyes. Number 2, Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady. That explains itself, I feel like. Number 3, Aaron Rodgers. Reason why Aaron Rodgers isn't number 1, to be honest, he's got health issues. And he's getting older. It's going to catch up to him. I have a feeling it could really diminish his play in the coming years. And that's nothing against him. He's a very good quarterback. Probably one of the best pure talents the NFL has ever seen. But he can't stay healthy. He can't stay healthy. It's not that good. Number 4, Russell Wilson. Now, why is Russell Wilson at 4? Wilson is at 4 because he's got the ability to run if the offensive line breaks down, which we have seen time and time again in Seattle. He's got decent pass catchers. He's got a decent rushing game, looks like, coming along. Russell Wilson's setting up for a good year, I would say. Probably a top 3 candidate in the MVP race. But my issue with Wilson is his own line. How many times is he going to be sacked? How many times is he going to be battered? How many times can he possibly fumble the ball? It's a big question. We have to see the Seahawks offensive line take a big step forward before I really trust them. Number 5, and this was hard for me. I had so many consideration here, but I had to put him at 5 after what we saw him do last year. Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson showed he can play at elite level as a rookie. As a rookie, he was all over the place. He was phenomenal. He might have been in the MVP candidate if he completed the season healthy. He was showing that much potential. And as a rookie, that's all you can ask for. I have a feeling with Bill O'Brien another year in the system, I have a feeling that he now knows he kind of can't run us around. And he didn't take a knee injury while in the game. He took it in practice. It's almost like a fluke injury. But he'll be a bit more precautious with the knee, I have a feeling. And he's got DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller on the outside. The only question about them is, again, same thing with Wilson, the O-line. We don't know much about their O-line. We just know they're newly put together. Number 6. Number 6 is kind of old reliable. You need a quarterback, you need to take one. Just Drew Brees. Drew Brees will be old reliable every year, I have a feeling. Until he retires, that's just the guy you know will get you 20 points a week. Will help you win. He's not going to be the flashy runner like all these younger players. He's not going to be that. What he's going to be is the guy throwing, getting touchdowns, getting points, plain simple. And the next guy on the list, clocking in at number 7, is not Cam Newton. He'll be up here soon. But I know a lot of people see Cam Newton wondering where he's going. Number 7 is Matt Stafford. The reason why I'm putting Stafford at 7 is because he's got the ability to scramble if needed. He's got a good O-line, which was injured last year. He's got a new and improved rushing attack to help him. I'm willing to bet Matthew Stafford has a career year this year. And I think he is the 7th best fantasy football quarterback. Number 8, Cam Newton. And I'm just going to talk about Cam Newton as I take a guy here real fast. Cam Newton, he'll rush for a lot of yards. There's no doubt about it. He is a grinder. He is a tight end playing quarterback. That's what he is. He's a tight end playing quarterback. And there's no doubt about it. He's huge. He's fast. He's strong. He is a tight end playing quarterback. And the only concern is he throws a lot of turnovers. That's a lot of points you're losing each game. And my thought on the matter is, I don't like a quarterback that throws a lot of picks. It can hurt you very bad. That's why I stay away from a Patrick Mahomes this year. I stay far away from him because I think he's going to have a lot of turnovers. And why I will probably not take Cam Newton, a lot of turnovers. Number 9. This was hard. So I was trying to figure out who do I finish off the last 2 spots with. There's Ben, but he's going to have Bell. He'll probably lose some points there. There's Andrew Luck. Luck, coming off of a bad injury, hadn't thrown in like over 500 days. And there's Matt Ryan, Alex Smith. Those are the 4 guys I was considering on rounding off my top 10 with. And number 9, I'm going to give to Alex Smith. And the reason why I'm putting him above everyone else right there, he doesn't turn over the ball. He can run. He can get you some of those points. And he will probably average around 16 to 17 points a game. That's good at your quarterback. You can average that. I would trust Alex Smith. If I need to take a quarterback right here with those guys on the board, I would take Alex Smith. He doesn't turn over the ball. He scores points. He scores touchdowns. He's reliable. And at a quarterback position, that's nice to have. And number 10. It's down to those 3 guys now. And I really boiled it down to Ben and Ryan. And I kept on thinking. It's pretty much Julio versus Antonio, Juju versus Calvin Ridley, and James Washington versus Mohamed Sanu. You can do that any order you want. But overall, just that. And the reason why I'm going to have Matt Ryan beating out Ben is because there are 2 guys, actually. Not just one. There are 2 guys that can become a difference maker. Tevin Coleman, receiving out of the backfield, and Austin Hooper. I think that they both have a good connection. I have a feeling Hooper can have a breakout year this year. I said that last year. He had a decent year, not a breakout year. And we're going to get into tight ends. And I know the number 1 tight end was taken off the board kind of early. And here he is. Travis Kelce. And I know. I have Kelce over Gronk. Just hear me out before you want to kill me. The reason why I have Kelce over Rob Gronkowski is because Kelce's got a much better history of staying on the field and not being injured. Kelce does not get injured. Kelce stays healthy all the time. And that's why I want the tight end position. It's the only reason why he's above Gronk. Number 2, Gronk speaks for itself. He's safe. Number 3. Now 3. This is when I had a bit of an issue of deciding who number 3 is. I mean, you see Greg Olsen right here. Getting older, don't really trust that. Delaney Walker. I love Delaney Walker. But I don't think he's number 3. My number 3 guy is Evan Ingram. And the reason why I'm going to put Ingram there is because I liked him as a rookie last year. I thought he had a good rookie year. I'm really excited to see what he does with having Odell back to take some coverage off him. Excited to see with having Saquon back there, see how that helps Ingram out. If it opens him up, if it gets Ingram some better matchups against the safety. Overall, tight ends, they're all hard to judge. Number 4, though, Delaney Walker. Delaney Walker is Marcus Mariota's safety net. He's a safety net for Marcus Mariota. And it's been that way since Mariota has been drafted. Delaney's his safety net, and he always trusts Delaney Walker. Number 5, and this was hard, because I'm a big Trey Burton fan. I like Jordan Reed as well. And there's Jimmy Graham with Aaron Rodgers. You're going to give it to Jimmy Graham. And the reason why I have him at 5 is because he slipped off in Seattle. We don't know if it was due to injury or if he just struggled. And Jimmy did have a really bad injury that one year in Seattle. Maybe he wasn't fully healthy from that. I don't know. But Jimmy Graham with Aaron Rodgers speaks for itself. That is deadly dangerous. Deadly. Because now we are going to move to kickers. Kickers. Who's number 1 on the board for kickers? Oh yeah, the guy that can hit it from anywhere on the field, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker's the best kicker in the league. I'm leaving it at that. He always performs. Number 2, Matt Bryant. Matt Bryant, I don't think he's missed in a while. Just every time you look up and he's kicking a field goal, it's good. It's like, oh, it's automatic. That's nice. Just look up, he's making it. Number 3. Now this was hard because there's so many variables. And I'm just going to take the reliable guys. I'm going to take Adam Vinatieri. Adam Vinatieri, he's been in the league for how long? And the dude is still killing it. It's phenomenal. He always hits field goals. He always does it. And it's insane how well he does it each and every year. Number 4, Steven Gostkowski. Gostkowski maybe doesn't have the best leg on here, but he's got an accurate leg. An accurate leg gets you points. Points gets you victories. Plain simple, down to the core. Number 5, and the reason why he's not higher is because he had his breakout year last year. We don't really know as much about him. So I'm putting Chris Boswell at 5. And Boswell, he's got a good leg. He's accurate. He's proven that in Pittsburgh, one of the toughest stadiums to kick a field goal in, he can do it. Will he be able to do it on a consistent basis? I don't know. This year's his prove-it year, I believe. Now for defenses. Now, you look at the top 5 here, you could arguably just say that's good to go. Number 1 is clear-cut Jacksonville, I would say, for turnover-wise. I don't think they had the best defense in the league. I think they had the best for turnovers. And they will prevent points. Now, the best defense, I think, in the league, and will be number 2 here, the Vikings. Just signed George Iocca. It's a big plus. I have a feeling the Vikings defense is going to be better than with what everyone thinks it is already, and that is scary dangerous. Number 3, I want to select Rams mostly because Aaron Donald, but I just remembered this team was young last year, the New Orleans Saints. Their defense was young. They were full of energy, and they came out, and they added Marcus Davenport to help get some sacks. They have Marcus Lattimore back there. They have the defense to just grind it out, get turnovers, get sacks. I'm really interested to watch them this year, and I do think they'll have a great defense this year. Number 4 is the Rams. And not Vikings, you're already on the list. The Rams. The reason why the Rams are here, they'll get sacks. I like Aaron Donald. I don't care about Ndamukong Suh. Aaron Donald's that key to that D-line. Plain simple. Their linebacker core is what I'm scared of. I don't trust that linebacking core at all. And that's the reason why they're not in the top 3. Number 5, it's down to Ravens-Chargers. Which one do I like more? They're both good. They both have the potential. I'm going to pick the Chargers. And the reason why I'm picking the Chargers, Joey Bosa, Melvin Ingram, Derwin James, Hayward, and they lost Verrett. I know they lost Verrett, but they have a lot of nice young corners in Trevor Williams and Desmond King. I like the Chargers defense a lot this year. And actually, that's going to round up the list. Please tell me your thoughts on any sleepers I missed. And if you want me to come back and do a sleepers video, I will be more than happy to do that. And everyone, I know preseason's wrapping up. Fantasy football time of year. Start hitting those drafts and make them good.